喂，小朋友，你唔好咁樣對你老豆老母噶喎。咁聽話？
哇！生日會化個喪屍妝，猛料喎！
又想撳我釘，我仲會領你嘢啊？你係咪傻㗎？喂，見下佢！
邊有講道理啊？靚仔梗係體罰㗎嘛，你傻傻地。喂，同你啊，肥仔，喂！入講你啊！做你乜柒？
This is Getting Better Subtitles. I'm Jean-Phil.
DK Lee.
And we are back with week number 2 with zombies. And
Damn.
well, more like zombies with a question mark at the end.
Zombiology.
I think I made a joke last week where I was like, I thought about apologizing to you because it was so bad that first half of the hour. But today I want to authentically say I'm sorry. Even though it was a mutual conclusion to pick it. It was not the best hour and over and a half of my life.
Well, let's talk about it.
First impressions? Fantastic, right?
This was the best movie ever. Best zombie movie I've ever watched. So
just
bar none.
Going through like a little bit of research or whatever I could find on the movie, reading a couple of like critic reviews and Rotten Tomatoes, like the little whatever user reviews, people that actually give this movie like a 3 out of 5 and higher. I don't understand what they're thinking. I don't understand.
I've seen some of the reviews too, and I'm just like, what?
I know.
No, because I saw the review before I watched the movie. Like I didn't read the whole thing, but I saw the stars that they gave. And after watching the movie, I'm like,
where?
Which movie were you watching? I was like, while I was watching the movie, I wasn't sure if I was watching the right movie. So I like double checked on Google to like make sure that there wasn't another like movie with the same title.
Right.
And lo and behold, it was this movie.
No, you were there. We were on the same page.
And so, we watched the movie, Zombiology.
What was it? Zombiology, a time to something, right?
Time
to enjoy, something like that. Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy a night of something.
No, it's so bad. We were just like, I'm telling you, man, like as soon as I finished, my mind immediately started to like delete any records of the films. So I have to like go back and remind myself what that was. Yeah, just not.
You wanna just run through the premise of the film?
Yeah. Well, so came out 2017, so it's relatively newer. Directed by Alan Lowe. He's the one that's responsible for this mess. And I'm gonna try my best. We mainly follow 2 guys who are best friends, and so basically one of the guys, his name is I don't really know all the names. Lone is the guy with the glasses. So like he's raised by his aunt. I don't even think it's his aunt, but like he just calls her aunt. And like the father just came out of prison for like the accident that he calls like his aunt or whatever. And basically his like Lone had never even like met his father for like 15 years or whatever. So now he's like just coming back into his life, and then his father's like really wants to pay off like his debt and is like really sincere about, just kind of like repaying his accident and then repaying like the mother or whatever, because she's like crippled and it's his fault essentially. And she also killed her husband as well. No, her brother. My bad. Her brother. He did. Yeah.
In the accident.
Mm-hmm. Lone's father. So yeah, it's kind of like basically a bit about that, and like the family things are coming back up. And so there's like Lone and then his best friend, who I don't know his name. Do you? The skinnier guy, the 6-pack guy.
What was his name?
I don't know.
Anyways.
The best friend, whatever. but they're very like both eccentric and they're like kids. Like their personality is very kid, even though that they're basically adults. And so they kind of grew up in like this community theater essentially, which is like where the aunt is from. And the girl, what's her name? Yit. Who is she? Is she the daughter of the aunt?
Yeah. I think so.
So she's kind of like a sister to Lone, I guess, is the relationship. But then Lone's best friend likes Yit, but Yit is not the same. But she's also like eccentric. She's into like
Supernatural stuff.
Yeah, SAAS, whatever, Resident Evil type stuff, essentially. And so like it's basically like the first 30 minutes of the movie is family backstory and kind of getting to know everybody, and then a zombie apocalypse happens because of a chicken or a guy in a chicken suit, and then like the apocalypse, like when we start seeing the zombies, like when it actually turns into a zombie movie, it's just like left field, like it just happens, and then screw like the family back history, then it's like we gotta survive the zombie apocalypse, and then they're like running for their lives, and then Lone and the best friend are like, we're superheroes, and then they make stupid gadgets like zombie apocalypse weapons, and they happen to meet their like celebrity crush, who is this celebrity taekwondo artist or whatever,
martial artist,
even though she's clearly Chinese, but not that, whatever. But like she was supposed to get married to somebody, but not. And then, but she kind of stood up, I guess, is what happens. And then they all go back to the community theater, which is like their home base kind of thing. And they're like putting up boards and hiding away from everybody. And then there's like a couple of people that they're sheltering, and then zombies attack the inside. And then there's more like sentimental BS. And then the last half is like superhero zombie actionness fighting the chicken suit guy, who turns out to be Lone. But I don't know. I might sound stupid, but this is exactly
That's exactly how the movie goes.
This is exactly the movie. You know, you have an iteration. You tell me your perspective on what was this movie about, Lee? You do a better job.
This movie was about a man's desire to confront himself and his fears, and finding a way to overcome his fears and beating the chicken monster that shoots eggs and turns people into skulls.
I don't even know. And zombies.
Yeah, like he has these bubbles that he blows that turns people into zombies.
I guess they're like spirits.
And he has these eggs that like move on their own, and like somehow they turn into projectiles and they just blow through walls and stuff.
Right. What about that scene where like the aunt was it? No, it was the aunt.
Which scene are you talking about?
When they're sitting in the house, and then the aunt stands up and is like singing with the dad.
Yeah,
and
then
like
she just gets blown up.
She just dies right there, and then
there were so many things that were in this movie that I feel like I just couldn't make out, like what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like you were talking about, like, you know, all the family, you know, background and build up, and like the accident that happened, and like the hatred between the son and the father and the aunt, and all these different like, you know, relationships that don't seem to mesh together, and they're trying to create some kind of like sentimental and like some kind of emotional like moment with them, but like
authentically, like really driving it home.
And the tonality of this film is everywhere as well, like because of that. Because some moments they're trying to be so like serious, and then another moment it's just like a goofball moments, and like those like mixed together, it just doesn't work at all. And every single time like there's a little serious moment, like another little like goofy moment kind of seeps in, but then like it just makes it more awkward and weird.
Yeah.
And then all the zombie parts of it, like you're just like, what are they doing while there's a zombie apocalypse? Like they're just wasting their time. Like they
pretty much.
The father like all of a sudden starts like cooking waffles for the aunts, and in some like weird like storage basement out of nowhere.
Right.
And like the people, like the two guys who come into the theater area, like the two dudes who are like, oh, please save us, like they knocking on the gates, and they come in.
Yeah.
Like they're like random people out of nowhere.
They're like the property like retail guys.
Yeah, like they're like, well, they're running away from the realtors.
Yeah. But they're also like the people that.
Oh, were they too?
So in the beginning when.
Oh, they were the brothers,
guys,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, but like they come up, and like that was so weird too when they first met.
Yeah.
And they're doing the gag, right? There's like this Chinese gag, but like
that's part of like what I said earlier off air too.
Oh,
is like how much of this movie was just
cultural thing,
just like Chinese laughs or these like you can say like cultural inside jokes that.
I mean, dude, I've watched a lot of funny Chinese comedies, and this is not one of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's and like, they have their own little thing where the older brother gets bitten, and the younger brother tries to like hide it from them.
They just like that whole section of the film was because like a big chunk of it is when they're stuck in the theater like sheltered together.
Yeah.
And then that the brother got infected and then the dad got infected after the waffles, and then the delivery egg, his name is, comes out of nowhere, literally nowhere, and then he's infected, and they literally do like a back to back like sentimental death scene, all in a row, like these characters matter, cry,
but like you have no attachment to them whatsoever.
It's so stupid. Yeah.
And like it's just everything just felt weird. Like the father and the aunt like go out, and they're like, they're like chilling outside and like just trying to like hang out or something, trying to reconcile or whatever. And then like there's a zombie apocalypse, so they take some weird tunnel where apparently
that has no
apparently what's his Lone used to take that tunnel whenever he was lost or whatever. And like there's just so many weird like contrived like little things that they put in that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And like the weird like cheerleaders that come out of nowhere every single time as a gag.
Dude. Yeah. Worst gag of all time.
Worst. You're just as you're watching it, you're like,
why am I still watching it? You're watching it and you think, why am I still watching it? Because I have to do this podcast.
Yeah.
I was close. I was to be like, I'm going to shut the book on this.
And yeah, the chicken thing, right? What? Why? Like from where? And I have a feeling, I think we talked about it before too, but like this is probably like from a book or some kind of like
maybe
manga or something like that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling because like parts of it, they have like animations to it.
Right.
And like they're talking about like the superhero aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. This whole like thing is like, am I in reality or not? I don't know. Yeah, like I mean, I read a review that kind of suggested that it was based off something. When I was looking into it, not that I looked deep enough, but I didn't really see that it was based off any book, or I didn't really see any correlation with it. But I can see this being like based off of a comic book or a manga.
Yeah, but the thing is, like the big problem of about this is like you get no context of what is going on in this movie if it was based on something.
Right.
And so a person like, or people like us, and probably the majority of people who watch a movie like this is not going to go into it knowing what it's about. They're probably going to think, oh, it's a zombie movie, like we thought, right?
Conventional.
And we're just watching it. And if they explained a little bit of the things, we might have a better understanding and like we might be invested in it more.
Right.
They just throw you in and you have no idea of like what their main character's motivations are.
Yeah.
Like why they're fighting this big chicken thing all of a sudden.
Right.
Why they want to be like superheroes. And like what like their like desires are.
I don't even know like how they were related for a while.
Right.
I don't even know like who's like, are they brothers?
Some of the relationships are weird. Yeah. Like Yit like is in the beginning and just disappears out of nowhere. She's just gone. She doesn't even like help out with the family or like she doesn't even they don't even really care to find her. Like they're
Well,
like,
that's not
oh,
entirely true.
they're like, oh, we gotta go find her. But then like,
They assume she's dead, right?
yeah, they
That's kinda-
assume she's dead, which is a logical thing to think about. But then she's
But you know
somehow
you're not.
like,
But you know that she's not.
she's some weird like special agent girl,
She just.
and she has this weird gadget that like shoots some crazy
Like,
laser
hey, that's right. I forgot.
out of nowhere.
Yo, when she comes back at the end of the movie, I'm like, so she's now Claire from Resident Evil. Like the whole getup and everything
Right.
just drives it home for me.
Like the whole time she's like talking about this gadget that like, you know, can detect like negative energy.
Yeah, but there's no like hint on it being this laser beam device from like Star Trek or something.
It's so weird. Everything's so weird, and there's no context to it, or like there's not even like context of like what her organization is, that SAS or whatever.
Yeah,
Like what that's about, like what they're doing, like
That's
if they're
for the-
even
that's for the sequel.
Is there a sequel? I feel like there is, because that ending kind
Yeah,
of like
I don't think there is, but I think they pushed for it.
yeah,
That's
they
why.
hope for it probably.
They're like, this is gonna be the greatest thing.
But yeah, like her and her identity and what she's about. But like, does that even matter because of the ending? Like, where like
Right, but like,
you're not even sure if the whole movie was just in the mind of Lone.
right.
So I don't even know if that even mattered. Was there even a zombie apocalypse? Like, was there even a chicken? Like,
That's
why
the-
is he the chicken?
That's the issue, though, right? Because it's like it tries to throw this sweep under the rug for you, and then be this commentary of he's trying to like overcome his fears or
Yeah.
teenage angst or whatever BS.
Yeah.
Like at the very end, and it's like, okay, sure, cool, not really cool. And then the post credit scene is like, no, this is a real like.
Zombie apocalypse
Yeah,
thing
like
that's happening.
larger than like, you know, more plot, like back to the plot kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like da.
And I just don't understand like the back and forth between the live action and the animated thing too.
Right. I mean, I just thought that was a stylistic thing for the movie, you know.
Yeah.
And but then again, going back to the very end.
But like,
maybe
I'm
it
just not
was-
sure. Is that part of the continuity of the live action thing, or is it just like a mental thing, or is it like? See, I don't know what that is,
in that
right?
sense, I don't.
So
either,
like
but-
the context of that is not given at all, right?
Right.
Even in the beginning when I first saw it, it looked cool, it looks nice, but like when you're watching that and then you cut to the live action, like you're not sure what that's about, right?
Mhm.
You don't really get an answer for that ever.
Yeah.
And so you're just confused the whole time watching it.
But I think it's like it was supposed to like you decide kind of thing because like it did the animation and then it went back to reality where he picks up the axe paddle
Yeah.
thing again and then it cuts to the end. So it's like you decide or
So he
But
is a superhero?
I don't.
So what
I'm
happened
not
to
even
his
gonna tackle
best
it.
friend who turned into a zombie, and the girl
I'm not even gonna.
who
tackle
turned
it.
into the zombie
I'm
at the end?
I'm checked out.
Like, it's so weird. Like,
Yeah, and then they come back as everybody's already dead. I don't even know.
like, you know, he's like, oh, I gotta make the last stand with the chicken, and he tells the girl and the
Right.
guy to leave.
Yeah,
then they just come back
and
as
they come back
zombies.
zombies. But then in the animation, they're not zombies.
They're not zombies. And you're just so confused.
I have no answer for you, Lee. I have no
So was he
answer.
the chicken the whole time?
I really hope not.
Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this movie.
Exactly.
You know, most movies, after watching it, I have a certain sense of like, oh, so that's what this was about.
Right.
You're
Even
like,
if it's bad, right? Like,
Yeah, even if it's bad.
It's like I can see what they were trying
to do.
trying to do at least. But
or
this
the
movie-
motivation
Right,
of where
yeah.
it's going, and you know,
I can see it for what it is.
yeah.
And then it's just judging it as like, did they execute it well or was it just trash? But this movie, it's like I have no idea.
I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't know
at
if
all.
it's about family, if it's about a zombie apocalypse, if it's about superheroes, or if
Right.
it's about
And then the problem is all those things are in there, just not like it's all there. just
it's
not-
all
you
there.
just
So I don't know what it's about. It
exactly.
just makes me more confused. And so
Pump the
I
brakes on your thoughts here, sir.
So I'm really like contemplating whether or not this was a zombie movie from the beginning or not.
Yeah, like, cause like the biggest thing I was like, okay, I'm thinking, was this movie like this big gag comedy like parody drive home? But then no, because there's so many sentimental scenes that like really try to drive the story and like these characters home to you. And they're like really authentic. Like nothing pulls away from how serious they were in those moments.
Yeah.
So it's like the story was taking itself seriously, yet the other 50% was just gag comedy. So I don't understand.
And one of the other things that made me really confused was that that battle wand thing that she had.
The hula hoop?
No. The wand thing.
The heirloom.
The heirloom.
Yeah. The heirloom.
That they were like, oh, you need to keep this safe.
I guess that was like in line with the family and the community theater. Like
yeah, I know that, but like
yeah.
I had a feeling maybe it was gonna be used to like fight the zombies or something.
I thought so too, but I gave up on the idea.
Because they're talking about like, oh, it like wards off evil things or whatever.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
that's
fight,
right.
Right. Whatever. But like
Chinese philosophy bullshit.
It was irrelevant. It was just some kind of MacGuffin or something. Like it's just like.
But not even. Nobody was chasing after that.
Well, you're like driving the story. Be like, oh,
Right.
keep this safe. Give it to Yit. You know, bring it to my daughter so she can continue the theater or whatever.
But like it was part of that, but it never really drove that point.
It was irrelevant after.
Yeah.
Like it was like you mention it once and it's gone because you never even see it anyways. And like at the end, he does give it to her, but like
yeah, it's there and it's gone.
Okay, so she doesn't even care about it.
Well, not like she like there's that sentimental moment again, right?
Right.
She takes it and it's like the circus theater act, and it's like family importance. But then after that, it's like
and then the cheerleaders come. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's right. And they run through the scene like.
But like it was like, why is it there though? That's what I'm saying. Like, is it just for the sentimental thing?
Yeah,
because it just felt so like contrived.
But everything was that. Everything was that same feeling.
And it just drives me nuts.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't feel like there's any weight to what the people are doing, right?
Yeah, it's just
everything feels like it's just set up. Like the places they go is like irrelevant. Like you could have set the story anywhere and it could have still been the same kind of thing. Like you didn't need the theater place. The bowling alley, like it's so random. Like you can go anywhere with a locker. It could have been a school. It could have been like a gym.
Right.
It doesn't matter where that was. And like so many things just felt.
But again, like I get like what they did and why they did it for like, like the locker thing in the bowling alley is a gag comedy act. Like that's for laughs. Like, okay, I get like that purpose, but it just doesn't work. Like it's stupid. It has no, like you said, no weight to it.
Because there's no like basis for why it should be there or like what it should.
Right, but it's
like story wise, like
exactly
comedy wise, okay, maybe that's
it.
why
like
you
they
want
don't
to do it. But like
they have no like recollection of it story wise.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't give a crap about that. They're just doing it.
It's not like one of them works at the bowling alley or like they just go there.
Same reason why like there's cheerleaders in a bowling alley. Like it's just there.
They're just there
for laughs.
Yeah,
and it's like it's not even funny. Like it makes no sense.
Yeah,
that's the entire movie. It's all like there for no reason. It's all dumb.
I don't know. It was very confusing for me.
And then like in the beginning, like I thought Yit was gonna be one character, and then she turned into somebody else. That I was like, what? Because she's doing like we meet her, and then she's doing like they said that she traveled overseas, and she's doing like this martial art thing with the bow, and then like, but I guess it's part of like the circus act per se, or the community theater.
Yeah,
and then
theater.
and then the mom was like, you
can't do it.
Yeah, like that's only like for the man, but like I guess that's more to the brother, like the father, like more backstory stuff. But then like
that's irrelevant.
Like, exactly, like that never comes back. Then she just turns into like somebody who was like the daughter and like more in line with the community theater side to somebody who's like, I just like paranormal stuff and I am like part of this secret agency thing
that we
have no idea at all, like, or ever will know what or why or how,
Yeah.
But
they never talk about the chicken or why the chicken's there.
Exactly.
What the chicken's about. People don't feel like, why is there a chicken there? They just
just
assume
run with
it's
it, right?
okay.
They
Yeah,
just
they
go
just
with
run
it.
with it. They're like they never like ask the question, why is there a chicken that's turning people into zombies?
Right.
Or why are there eggs that are like turning people's brains into skulls?
They're like, he's the bad guy. We gotta kill the bad guy.
They don't even try to kill the bad guy, really. They just like run away from him the whole time. And then at the end, they're just like, okay, there's a chicken.
Yeah.
I gotta deal with it because he killed my father or something.
I have no idea. And then they know like martial arts at the end, like all of them for zero
Yeah.
reasons. And the stupid hula hoop with spikes, and then like the spikes come from the inside. I'm like, that's physically not possible. Like that's literally not possible. I thought you did taekwondo, and like this is not. And then they like fall in love out of the blue.
Yeah.
Like they just run with their relationship.
Why was she even like near the dumpster as a bride,
Who knows? Nobody knows.
acting half dead?
But like, I guess it's just like the state of depression that she's in, because she got stood up from.
She came out of nowhere.
She didn't come out. She was like ended up nowhere. They found her.
Why was she not a zombie already?
That's what I'm saying. Like I thought they were gonna be like, oh my god, that's Shen, and then she's a zombie. But it's like, nah, I'm still alive. Come and take me to your base.
She's chilling.
She's all right.
Ah.
Like, oh my god, the lady that's in a wedding dress sitting by the trash can so happens to be the celebrity taekwondo martial artist we've been
What
gagging
a coincidence.
over. What a coincidence. Where like the zombies pop up in the street and then they're running through the city when they use Yit, and then they end up at the bottom of the hill and they're like, where are we gonna go? I know where we can go. Truck like comes, so happens to be passing over there, and then the keys are inside, and it's like, hey, it's a truck. Let's go take the truck.
And the truck was in neutral, right? Because it's going back. He like turns the keys, and then he like turns the car back on. I'm like, and then there was another scene where it was Shu En. She's in the theater trope area, and like it's one cut of her like with no eyelash like tears,
Right.
and then another cut where she has it.
Really?
It goes back and forth when she's like kicking the guy, and then all of a sudden she doesn't have it. So like I feel like that's like
Big continuity.
a little continuity here and there.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
But like I would not have cared about that if the movie was okay.
Yeah.
But because it wasn't, like I see these things.
I'm gonna see every.
You're
flaw.
making me look at these things because I don't have other things to like watch,
I'm not entertained.
care about.
I'm not entertained out of anything besides the flaws that are clearly in front of me. And just nothing worked. They just like try to throw so much. The movie was throwing all this crap at you for no reason and had like no value. Like the whole like the egg delivery guy gag. He's like secretly in love with the aunt. Not even secretly, but just like try. And then they have that metaphorical like discussion. He's like, I'm gonna make a meal that's to your taste one day.
Yeah.
And then it comes back as like literally pops out of nowhere. There's no way he could have gotten inside of that building.
He like climbed his way up all, and just how the zombies operate too is like the people that matter take forever to become zombies.
Exactly. The brother took like God knows how long.
The father took
Now you could
forever.
and Egg wasn't
He wasn't
even
even a zombie.
He was just like, I'm transforming, but I'm gonna kill myself because I'm still there.
So it's just there's a lot of logical things and story things that just don't work together,
Mm-hmm.
and just thematic things that just don't mesh together, and tonality it just doesn't mesh together.
It's a movie with the biggest identity crisis I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know if what it wants to be really.
Yeah.
And like if we're talking about zombie movies specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for this film where it fails the most as a zombie movie is just like the origins of why things happen, right?
Yes.
Because like they talk about, I mean, like let's grant them all the leniency that we can give them.
No.
And even then, like it's hard for me to like accept this as a movie that just makes sense.
Mm.
Because like let's say, okay, the chicken is the
originator.
the originator of all these zombies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even then, like, it doesn't help. Like, you have to kind of like show us where this like chicken came from, or like why it's here, or what it's doing,
Sure.
and kind of like help us to understand what this chicken is about, right? And what these eggs that come out is about, and like why this happened. Like, zombie movies usually start from that premise, right?
Yeah.
Or like makes us wonder about why this happened and like what they're trying to do, to avoid it, right? But like this one is just like, there's a chicken, it's just making people into zombies, and people are just running away from it. But like, you're not even sure if
Why?
yeah, why they're running away from it, what happened. Like, you're not even sure if this is like grounded in the real world, or like some kind of like fantasy world, like supernatural world. You're never given an understanding of what kind of like rules that this world has.
Right.
And so you're just sitting there confused whether or not if this is like aiming towards some kind of reality or more fantasy.
Right.
And so you're constantly in this like limbo.
Yeah. And the movie like tries to play that tune as well. Like there's dialogue, and he's like, I don't know if this word is real or not, but like, I don't know, comes to some stupid conclusion. But like the movie itself dabbles in those worlds, And there, I find myself a lot of times too noticing that it does that it kind of like questions itself sometimes.
Yeah.
And like what it's doing. And it's not helping it. It's just
because
like
he's like,
worse.
because he says also, he's like, oh, like, I want to become a superhero. And like, even when they were kids, they wanted to be superheroes. But like, does that mean like they can be superheroes? Like, actually like have superpowers? Or like, does that just mean like they have like these fantasy dreams of like wanting to be some kind of hero?
Right. And then like with the whole like slap, like the rock paper scissors and the slap gag is like, oh, is this real or not kind of thing. So they're always like that's a reoccurring theme, like a motif. But
it doesn't help the movie.
For what?
Though.
Right. Exactly. Like for what? For them to drop the ball at the end.
Because it forces you to like think about something else, and then think about another thing, and think about another thing. Like, at first you're thinking about the family, and then you're thinking about like the theater trope thing, and then you're thinking about the father, and then you're thinking about the zombies that come out, you're thinking about chicken, and then you're thinking about like the SAAS, and then you're thinking about all these different things like constantly coming out. You're thinking about whether it's superheroes or whether it's like, reality, whether it's like
a manga.
Yeah, like you're just constantly like thrown these things that you just never really know where it wants to go. And at the end, it goes somewhere, and you're just like, huh? I don't even care now. Like, I don't even.
Yeah.
Like when he like took off his like chicken suit, and it was just him.
I was probably like the most hopeful in that scene. I was like, okay, it's a guy in a suit, pretty clearly, and it turned out to be him. And I'm like
how does the suit have like laser powers and stuff? You know what I mean? Like,
how does he have powers?
How does it deflect stuff and things like that? I'm just like, what's going on?
What's going on? Yeah, and then it's like that scene I was the most hopeful, because it's like, okay, finally an answer, right?
Yeah.
What is the chicken? Okay, it's
okay. Finally, they're gonna tell us about the chicken.
Yeah, it's a guy in a suit, like clearly, and then it's him, and then I'm like, I'm done. But then I'm like relying on Yit, because I'm like, obviously Yit has the answers to everything,
right?
Like she's, we think that she's some crazy nut job into paranormal with a negative detector. But then she's like, oh, I figured it out. And she's like contacting HQ, fucks off for the entire movie, and then comes back, and it like badass whatever. And you're like, all right, what do you know that we don't know? Like, feed us.
Yeah.
And then we never know.
She's like, I'll meet you at the pier. And then they just fight in the tunnel with the chicken.
Yeah, and that's it. And then that's it. So, okay, so wait. Like, is the post-credit scene her in the pier, or is that when we never see her?
I don't even know where that
exactly.
Is. I have no clue where that is. Gives you no context of what's happening in the movie.
I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Like, even like character motivations don't make any sense.
Exactly.
Like the father, he's like, "Oh, go."
Well, maybe he's the clearest. Honestly, for me, I think he's the clearest.
No. Like, you know that
What do you mean?
moment when like he's running away, they're running away, they're going, and then he locks the door, and he's like, "I'm gonna, fight the eggs and the chicken, whatever, and you guys go." And then he just goes, he picks up like a propane gas tank thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And he just explodes. Like, what were you thinking of doing?
But he walks like his head gets blown off.
Yeah, and he still walks.
And he
And he's like,
waves.
waves. You're telling me that made sense?
Well, yeah, in the sense of
You're
like,
telling me he has some motivations
Like,
of doing something?
all he wanted was like the well-being of like his son and everybody else. Like he sacrificed himself for them.
What kind of sacrifices?
A heroic one.
What did he achieve?
Them to survive another 30 minutes
Oh my
of
goodness.
screen time. But like he's probably the most clear because it's like obvious that
He wants to help, yeah.
yeah, he's
He
like
wants
wants
to
to
reconcile
repent,
with his son. And
and to the aunt
Yeah.
for what he did. And like that's the only thing that he's trying to do for the whole movie. At least we know that. For everybody else, it's like it's not as clear as that. And then by the end, he's kind of like already reconciled with them, and then like the last thing for him to do is die. Exactly. Like it's
what
a
about the aunt?
clear-
Why did she get blown off?
for dramatic effect. For dramatic effect. But like her too, right? Like she is depressed it's a little more convoluted. Like she's depressed. And then like, but we wrap the bows with all like the love things, right? Like there's a thing with the dad.
Egg and the dad.
And
yeah.
then as soon as she's done like reconciling with the egg guy, she dies. And like that, but that's the last thing she ever needed to do.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But everybody else is like, I got bad with that, bro. I think the worst is probably the Taekwondo girl. Cause
She came out of nowhere.
She makes
too.
no sense in the story.
Like, you just see posters of her in the beginning.
Right.
And then she just comes out of nowhere.
And then she's an
And,
actual thing.
and why is she like crying about like being stood up as a bride?
Yeah. But again, we don't know. We don't care.
No
'cause
context.
we
She's
don't
just
care
thrown
'cause-
in there
Yeah.
because we saw her in the poster and she's
And then like she feels bad in the sentimental talk with the son.
oh yeah,
and
and
the
she
dad.
like lies.
Yeah, and then she's like, not even she lies. Like he like assumes he's like she comes out like all puppy eyed, and then he makes up some BS. He's like, we're getting married, and then
Yeah.
she runs with it. you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah, she helps him with the lie.
Yeah, but it should have happened the other way. She should have been like, she should have said something that would have helped, and then he caught on to it. Not the other way around because it doesn't make sense that way.
Well, either way, it was stupid.
But either way, yeah, it was like, why change a heart all of a sudden? And then like logically, like she helped them in the moment kind of thing.
yeah.
But then come back around when they're at the lockers, then there's like they run with this love thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Undeveloped characters
don't know.
through and through.
And then I read a review that was like half of the movie, like it was a positive review, and they were saying half of the movie, 30 minutes, isn't really a zombie movie, that they come back 30 minutes. But it's like, but it's actually great because character development is so important and you get to know all the backstory. And I was like, you're wrong. You're clearly just wrong here.
Tell me who this
Yeah.
girl is. All I know about her is she knows Taekwondo and she got stood up. And I don't even know if she really got stood up or not.
Yeah, we just
What character development is
what
there?
character development? Can you even use that in a sentence?
All the character development people who had character development died
exactly.
in the 40-minute mark. So
And honestly, they were like already developed.
yeah.
We just never saw that. I don't know, man. This is the worst movie ever.
It was just it's by far the worst movie that we've ever watched
Yeah.
on this podcast.
Podcast in
Yeah.
general.
Just because like there's no semblance of a
Anything.
through line
Yeah.
and cohesiveness and like a full like film that like feels complete.
Yeah. I just want to think about this logistically for a minute.
Yeah.
Because even if I read the script still would have made zero sense. Because like the story just makes no sense. You know. So who put money into this? Who funded something like this? What makes you think that this was a good idea? Like, it was bad from the start.
I mean, there are films like Sharknado, so
I don't understand.
that got a green light. So, things happen, man. And some people, they get lucky.
It's true. I hate those guys.
You need confidence. They're like,
To really,
this will be the best movie ever.
It's gonna be the greatest. Or if if it's gonna be a flop, you're like, it's gonna be the greatest flop ever. It's gonna be a cult classic. It's not even good enough to be that.
No.
This is worse than The Room. Yeah.
This one is worse because The Room, they played it so seriously that it was good. Because it was so bad. Right?
Because it tried hard to be something that it wanted to be.
But this one, it tries so hard to be everything.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't become anything.
Right.
That's the problem for this one.
Mm-hmm.
If it just ran with the super seriousness, then it would have probably been funny at least. Like, like we could laugh at it and it would be enjoyable because we're laughing at it.
Yeah.
But this one is like, it tries to be funny and then it tries to be serious and it tries to be funny. So you can't take a side.
Yeah.
You're not like, okay, it's funny because it's so bad at being serious.
Right.
Or you can't say, like, it's not even serious and it's not even comedic. And you just lose both of them now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, here, laugh with us in the scene. And you're like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Because a lot of times, like gags and comedic things, it requires, like, an inside joke. Like, it requires the person to, like, bring you into the circle, right? And like have these repetitions of like, oh, wink, wink. Remember that thing that I did before? Isn't that funny? That's all the cheerleader stuff is all that, right? You see them in the beginning and you like know what they are. And every time they show back up, you're supposed to laugh at that because it's some kind of inside joke that is created because of the very, very first joke that we saw.
Right.
And so like that has to happen. But the very first joke sucked and you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Every time it comes out, you're just gonna hate it more and more.
Yeah.
And like that's what happens with this one, right? You're just like, I don't know why this is there. It's just annoying now.
It's just so
like so many of that happens here. I feel like
bad.
that's why like the beginning is so important. Like you know what I mean? The first 10 minutes, if it doesn't really like hook you and make you understand what it's about, then you really lose the audience. That's why like so many people say like the first 10 minutes of the film is probably where it makes or breaks, whether or not the audience is going to like the film or hate it.
Right. Yeah, it is very true. You got to set it up right. I don't know, man. I just keep thinking about it. And I'm like, nothing is great. I'm thinking about that kid, freaking like I guess it was a school trip, right?
Oh yeah.
And then
to the theater.
Yeah, and then the kid steals the heirloom and then bumps into Lone, and he tries to shake his hands with the pins in his fingers.
Dude, what a
dick!
What kind of kid does that?
And he's like, that was genuinely funny though.
That was funny.
He goes up to his ear and he's like, "Go to hell."
That one was funny. That kid was funny. That was good.
That was hilarious.
And then he comes back as a zombie. He eats his.
But like they
eats
come
his
back.
Children. His parents.
His parents. But like that comes out of nowhere. Like what was their job? Like they were mascots for who and for what?
I guess they were mascots like
zero
for the bowling alley. I don't know.
Zero context. And then like so happens like then they're throwing a birthday party like since when, right? And then like the parents show up out of the blue and they're like we're left on it like
and you don't even realize that your kid is a zombie at that point,
right? And then I didn't even realize till the handshake that kid was the same kid from the school trip when he tries to shake his hand and then they kick him in the gate.
He just flies. That was good. That was good retribution.
That was good. And then they just beat the shit out of him and I'm like, this is so bad. Like they pulled no punches. I'm like, at that point, you didn't even know he was a zombie. Like, it's clear assault.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a kid.
You clearly, like, assaulted a child.
And he was like, "Oh, I guess beating kids is not good."
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah,
That was funny though. That was funny.
yeah, that was just absurd.
Ugh. At that point, I was a little hopeful, but
Yeah,
no.
that was like the beginning too.
Yeah,
that was like,
that was a little early
like
on.
30 minutes in, 20 minutes in.
But even that was like a bit of a stretch in. A bit of a stretch. But yeah, man, I don't know. Je ne sais pas.
I guess that was your favorite part.
Yes. Yes. Now that I think about it, yes. What was your favorite part?
I think the animated parts.
The animated parts?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were saying before, we didn't mention, like, this movie probably would have been a million times better if it was just an anime.
Yeah.
Like, if it was an anime, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I
like,
just feel like it would have been better if they just straight up made it into like a superhero thing
right.
and just kind of like push that
Yeah.
forward.
But again, that's part of the issue because, like, it tried in a way. But, like,
It tried, and then it tried other stuff,
yeah,
and then it tried another stuff.
just pick one. Come on, guys.
Yeah,
The animation was good.
it was good.
The animation was really solid.
It was really well animated.
Yeah.
The chicken looked nice.
The action looked great. I
Yeah,
was
the
like,
action looked great,
this is a serious anime battle right here.
and yeah, like it looks so much better in animated.
I would say it was like the best part of it. Like that was definitely the best part. But
Like technically, right?
technically, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like even like maybe story wise.
Right.
Every department of like
The little story that we had while
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
watching the
yeah.
animated part.
I was
yeah.
sold. Like when
Because he was like, oh, it kind of felt like some kind of like Power Rangers / like,
right, yeah.
you know, like, and I mean, like, it's very tropey, but like, it's still good, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, the fear is not letting me transform.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. Give me that. Do
Yeah.
another version where it's just an anime.
Right.
That's my message.
Yeah, I don't know why they needed to like mix it up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like in the beginning, because it kind of starts off with that, you know,
It does.
and tonally, I was kind of on the same page with it because it's like this spoofy kind of comedy mix, and the anime kind of adds to that, like it complements it. But then, you know, throughout the thing, it just drops the ball on that. But I was like, okay, this is what we're working with.
But like, exactly, like in the beginning, you start off with that, then you give the audience a certain kind of notion of what that film is going to be.
right.
And then it just goes other directions like the whole time. And so like the audience has nowhere to latch on, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's no anchor point for the audience to be like, okay, so I understand what the story is about and where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
You never get that once that moment ends because it just goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so you just feel disappointed at that point.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. Would you recommend this?
If you want to get mad,
Or just lost. Just like
in the beginning,
You
you just have this like muted like confusion. But the more you think about it, you just get annoyed.
Yeah.
And the more you get annoyed, you get mad.
the more this movie does lapse in your mind, you're like, it's 2 hours I'm never gonna get back.
Yeah, it just constantly like plays around with things and never really gets around to like finishing it.
So, on this zombie series, we haven't really even seen a single zombie movie yet, have we?
Dude, One Cut of the Dead is a masterpiece compared to this film, man. Dude, I love One Cut of the Dead. Let's go.
Fan. Yeah. I mean, the movie's great, like, on its own, but even the first half of that movie is, like, a million times better than this. God. Even Company Man is.
Dude, Company Man is like,
It was like
way up there
it was
compared to this.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we haven't really even seen a true, like, linear zombie film
Yeah.
out of the 204. I'm starting to think this was a bad idea.
I was hoping that this film was actually going to be more zombie horror. It kind of is, technically. In the sense that, like, it's in a zombie apocalypse.
Okay, yeah, sure. Like, it's in the actual world.
Yeah, the world. But, like, you're like, okay, now, is it just a dream? Is it just
yeah,
like
but by the end, right?
an
it
illusion?
questions it. But
And that's why like it just annoys me.
But by the end, it's like maybe not, maybe not.
Like you advertise this as a zombie movie, so you expect certain zombie things.
Yeah.
And then in the very beginning of the film, you have a superhero thing going on. And then this chicken. And then the the little zombie thing. And you're like, okay, how are these things correlated?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, the zombie makes zombie? I mean, the chicken makes zombies?
At least the zombies make zombies.
Right. So it's just like, why? So you just begin to wonder, why is the chicken there? Like,
Yeah.
is it the chicken or the egg?
It was neither. The answer was neither.
Yeah, I'm still hoping for a good zombie movie. We still have.
That's a good question. What is our next one, you guys? Yeah, okay, so before we get to that, concluding thoughts. I think all we talked about were concluding thoughts.
All we talked about is we don't want to talk about this anymore.
We don't want to talk about this anymore. Yeah, this was definitely the worst on the list for sure.
Worst of all time so far
Of all
on
time.
our podcast.
This is the worst I've ever seen, actually. Like
of a movie?
Yeah.
Just
I don't think I've ever seen a movie that's like, why?
this schizophrenic.
Right, yeah.
Like this everywhere. Like this, like
just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's a movie that I'm like, why is this even a movie? I mean, like I've seen maybe equally bad, but like the movie takes itself. Like I saw a movie that was a horror movie, like early 2000s, and it was about a giant spider like in a house murdering people.
Oh.
Like it was just like a dumb spoof kind of thing. But
was that like a really like low budget kind of like movie, or was it like
yeah.
This doesn't feel like that though.
But yeah, but like
This feels like they
budget
invested like a lot into it still.
Right.
That's why I just feel like it's even more like ridiculous.
I could see this in a theater, like
yeah, like I
like-
feel like they like probably advertise this, and like they put like they invested into this film,
right.
and just the coherence in this film is just nil.
Yeah.
And you're just like starstruck. You're just amazed by the wonder, the grandeur that is this movie.
You're so like
Imagine
dumbfounded.
like
literally dumbfounded.
Imagine this movie actually has some really like profound like thing that we just don't understand.
Then I go back to my original point. There's some like cultural BS that I don't understand going on. I just want to talk to the director. Like, can we have the director here? You'd be like, I need to talk to the man responsible for this.
Man.
Be like, walk me through it. Walk me.
Maybe he
through it.
had this big understanding and idea
And nobody got
of
it.
what this is supposed to be.
But then that means you failed at your job.
I'm sorry, I don't have the big brains to understand this movie.
No, it just means he didn't do his job right. Literally your job as a director.
The movie title's nice, Zombiology.
Zombiology.
It makes you
Enjoy
think,
yourself tonight.
enjoy yourself tonight. Yeah.
I did not. I did not.
Well, just thinking about the title name.
But it has nothing to do with the movie.
Exactly.
Though.
I thought it was gonna be about some kind of like biological like thing about zombies, and very like
Sure.
figuring out like how these zombies came about and stuff like that.
Mm.
None of that. No.
This title has zero
relevance to
zero
what the
relevance.
movie was about.
I don't
Enjoy
know.
yourself tonight. Wow, what a troll.
So the next one is Peninsula.
Oh, is it already?
Yeah.
That was quick. Oh, we only did 3 this.
This is the third, yeah. So then we have one more after that.
Oh, we did 4, right?
Yep.
Hey, Peninsula, didn't we say we were going to do that last?
I don't think we really decided. We can.
Which one was the other one?
Odd Family. is
Oh, yeah, The Odd Family.
another comedy.
Yeah,
But we-
I hope that one
we-
doesn't suck.
But the streaks we've been going with comedies lately.
Yeah, let's go to Peninsula. Well, to be honest, I've heard some reviews about Peninsula. It's not that great.
I've seen it.
You saw it?
I've seen it.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
probably
said you
shouldn't be
saw
saying
it.
that, but I did.
You
see it.
did say you saw it.
I did see it already. Yeah.
It's not as good as Train to Busan, right?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
But at least it's a zombie movie.
But yes, we can actually like talk about zombies like for real.
Let's go Peninsula.
Yeah.
Let's go safe.
At least we could be like we could talk about what the series is freaking about for once, you know?
Okay. Let's do that.
The movie is heaps better than this movie. You know, look, it's a great wash of the mouth. It may not be great, but you're gonna be like, I fucking love this movie so much because it's so much better than that last movie we saw.
It'll be a good way to
A palate cleanser. There you go.
It'll make Peninsula better.
Yes.
Because of what we watched today.
You gotta set yourself low to kick it up there a little bit, you know?
Okay, Peninsula sounds good.
Peninsula sounds like a decent choice. And then we can gamble again after that.
Honestly, we can do another movie if you want. I mean, you know Alive, right? Alive's on Netflix now.
Yeah,
so it's easier for people to access too.
We can talk about it.
We could do that if we want. But
it's up to you. I mean,
we'll see after Peninsula.
but I saw Alive too, and Alive.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's better than Peninsula. Peninsula.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alive wasn't that great either, so I don't know.
Saying a lot already.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't think Alive was terrible.
It wasn't like terrible, but
It's okay.
it wasn't like the best.
Yeah, like it wasn't no World War Z. You know what I mean?
You know, I think this is a good testament to like showing how hard it is to make a good zombie movie.
Right.
To be honest,
It's like zombie films are kind of like almost as genre as you can be.
it's so tropey
yeah.
that to make it like
Unique.
exciting and unique and kind of relevant,
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah. Like what can you do that
Hasn't been done, or like it's so cliche
right?
because you know what's gonna happen,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Even the best zombie film that you probably know, it's still gonna follow some kind of structure, right?
Right.
And you know, following a structure isn't bad, but it's really what you do with it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the films fall short of that, or just screw up like this one. Like
It's just like
goes everywhere, and this is the perfect example of not having good structure.
yes. You can learn a lot from this movie, and if you just focus on flaws, you know. Yeah.
But I feel like we've ragged on this film a lot. Kind of feel bad.
Let's chill. We're gonna go bathe in ice after this. We're heated. So yeah, Peninsula is next week, and then we'll be on the last one after that. Crazy.
I mean, you can't have all good films, right?
I wish. But this is like this is just. There's a difference between like a bad movie and like this shouldn't be a movie. Like I don't know, man. This is just
like the loops, like the how many passes that this must have had for it to be approved.
Right.
It just kind of like boggles in my mind.
Yeah.
Right. Because like
if you think about just think
this feels like a first draft
100%
of like a movie that you would like a screenplay you would like send to somebody.
Right.
Not even like you wouldn't even send this to somebody. This would be what you wrote. Like your throw up.
Exactly.
Draft.
Yeah, right. Yes. That makes so much sense now. Yes. This feels
and then
exactly
from here
like,
you would like work on it like 100 more times.
Exactly.
To get a decent draft.
Right.
But they were just like, let's go with the first draft.
Let's go with the vomit draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is exactly what it is too. Because I can relate, like just writing a vomit draft as like from page 1 to 120, like those first words, you reread it and you go, what the fuck is this?
It sucks.
I like literally go back and I'm like, there are 30 different movies in 100.
And you're like embarrassed to show anybody.
Exactly. Like this doesn't even know what it wants to be. Like there's things everywhere, no motivation or like multiple motivations. There's like plots, subplots.
And like through lines like going everywhere.
Exactly.
And you're just like, what does this movie even want to be?
Exactly.
And this is exactly where this movie is.
And this is exactly what this movie is, just like shot to the T.
Yeah.
I get it now. I have unsolved the mystery. It is a commentary on that.
Oh.
We have saved the film. We have saved the impossible.
This is a commentary on
First drafts.
Doing your due diligence in writing a screenplay.
I'm telling a crafted story. There you go. All right, we're done. Let's just put the lid on it on a high note.
Nice.
Yes. So Zombiology. There's that. Peninsula next week.
Peninsula
Next week. Week number 3. Be there, be square. Peace.